We're back having our monthly conversation with Thomas Caldwell of Caldwell Securities. Tom, obviously, the part of the big political news the last few days has been the death of Brian Mulroney, and looking at his legacy from various points of view as a very consequential former prime minister. What do you take as part of his economic legacy from the Mulroney years?
Well, I think you hit the right word, consequential. He was a leader. He led. As much as we all complained about the GST, that helped to make us solvent for a while until we go through this next cycle. Jean Chrétien and Paul Martin got a lot of credit for balancing the budget, but it was really on the back of the GST.
Right.
And Brian Mulroney deserved that credit. He did make a valiant attempt to Meech Lake, etc. The free trade agreement with America was gargantuan. I mean, to create that, and particularly at a time, it gave us some defenses, mechanisms to object to our American cousins' behavior, because America is essentially isolationist. If you're in a trade deal with America and you're winning, in their mind, you must be cheating, whether that be softwood lumber and everything else. But it gave us recourse to negotiate with them, to say, no, this is wrong. This doesn't fit with the agreement we had. I think his towering achievement was being a voice of reason on the world stage, and certainly within America. We live next to a giant, but you could rest assured, whether it be with President Bush or Reagan, if Brian Mulroney called, they would pick the phone up.
Right.
And they could have a talk, whether they fished together as they did or whatever. He had the ear of the Titans and could inject some adult inputs, something that has been lacking for some time. So I think his achievements, the GST, as much as I object, I hate paying taxes. I don't mind if I'm getting value, but that was something we needed. America could solve their deficit problems with the GST right off the get-go. But remember, America has guns, so they're not going to be able to enforce it. But the free trade, very, very important. But most of all, a moderating influence, not only in Canada, but in the world. He could communicate an idea because it had been thought out. He wasn't dealing emotionally. He wasn't dealing with how can I get votes from this or that special interest group, trying to get everybody to like him. I always keep joking that if you're a leader and everybody likes you, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
And he was prepared to be a leader. And I think that's one of his towering achievements.
And that's, I think that's a commonly held view, but you've added some flesh to the bone. So thanks for delivering that point of view on this program. In the here and now, obviously, I just want to talk about Alberta and energy for a minute. Alberta is making it tougher, it looks like, to do renewables, or maybe it's more balanced. Maybe that's the right phraseology. I don't know whether you've been following that or not, but love to get your point of view.
Not in detail, but if I lived in Alberta, I'd be pretty annoyed. I go back, my white hair will tell you, I go back to Marc Lalonde and the national energy policy under Trudeau the First. And frankly, the West has not been well treated in Canada for many, many, many years, even from Confederation, whether it be tolls and railroads, whether it be energy policy, which has always been prejudicial, and now more on the politically popular whims of the government of the day. So my sympathies and go to Alberta, frankly, and it seems to me that provincial and federal governments, both among provincial, everybody should be talking more. If we've got a problem, jump on a plane, get on the phone, go and see them and see if you can talk to them. That's assuming you're talking to rational, normal people who are interested in reason as opposed to scoring political points. But I think any difference is with Alberta. Let me put it this way. If I were in Alberta, I would be tentatively leading towards separatism. But I mean, it's not a feasibility. But, just say enough already. I think they have to sit down and talk to the feds. But the feds have got to get some adults in the room and also be able to talk frankly. What can we do to make this a better country? We should be an energy powerhouse. There's lots of things we can do, but like it or not, the world's going to need our energy, period, for a long time yet. And in your time and my time, etc. Well, mine's not a long time, but yours is longer. But we're going to need it for a long time. Everybody should sit in a room, haggle out the differences, and come to something that's reasonable. I always look in a deal. Whenever I work in a deal, when everybody is slightly annoyed, that's usually the right deal.
Yeah, exactly. Tom, we're going to take another brief break. We'll be back with you. Please stay with us.